Mr. Chairman, my Lord Mayor, my Lady Mayoress, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen. Handcrafted in York and handmade in York. That was this very building, now the Cedar Court Hotel. It's just a stone's throw away from everything that's important in York. The bar walls, the River Ouse, the Minster, and above all, the railway station. I think it just goes to show that these hotelier guys, they've got an uncanny sense for sniffing out the unusual. And that's what they did when they got hold of this particular building. The former old North Eastern Railway headquarters. A huge palace of business was the description given to this building by the Yorkshire Herald newspaper in 1906. That's when the building was completed. So here we are, 112 years later, treading this same floor, protected by the same roof and these same walls as those illustrious businessmen from those fragmented railways of all those years ago. Do you feel honoured? I worked from this building, which gave you a sense of prestige, a will to prove that you're worthy of being a resident here. And several of my speeches were formulated in this very environment. Now, I've not found it easy to shoehorn some 30 years membership of the ASC into just 5 minutes. But some little things, they stick in your mind. My very first speech was delivered in this room in 1982. I was entitled, "So You Want to Be an Engine Driver?" Needless to say, my evaluator, who was also a railwayman, said, "I'd like to hear that speech again." I thought, great, it must have been good. What he meant to say was, "Gerald, you've made a mess of that." So to continue, in 1986, my occupation at the time led me into the financial section of the railways, and it gave me some thoughts about my next speech, which was a manual B8, smile please. I thought, I'll put that speech in the direction of the finance. So, what shall I do? I costed an illicit love affair. I discovered it was far more expensive than I ever imagined. Added boxes of chocolates, flowers from Interflora, hotel bills. I could go on and on, but I will just summarise. That illicit love affair would have cost me £3,442 in 1986. That was more than 50% of my salary. So as far as I was concerned, that was out of the equation entirely. Was it me, or was it this magnificent boardroom that gave the evaluators in the Speakers Club this sense of over-importance? I sense it was the room itself, or to quote Mandy Rice Davis in the famous Profumo affair, well, he would say that, wouldn't he? The evaluators in those days, in my book, they were evil BBBs. Peter Addison, Charlie Cullen, Al Seal, and others who were in this room where I won't mention, otherwise I'll get blackballed. To get a pass on to the next assignment at your first attempt at a speech was virtually unheard of. Hands in pockets, moving about meaninglessly, voice too low. I could go on and on and on. Well, I did progress through the Speaker's Guide until I reached the masterpiece, Manual 10, some 5 years later, after 4 attempts. The move on to the next assignment, which is a way of saying, you know, it's okay now, book. This was only agreed by 2 evaluators and the general evaluator after half an hour's discussion for an 8-minute speech. Perfection was the name of the game. Excuse me. So, what changes after 30 years? I find my notes, they'd moved from pitch 10 in my earlier speeches. They're now on to pitch 14, and I can just read them with the aid of Specsavers. Well, so much for nostalgia, or was it neuralgia? I know both are extremely painful under certain circumstances, but happy relief when they've passed by. That's what I think about his speech. And so it is about the Speakers Club. I am still around, and that must say something.